we will present you our brand new program, the Master of Science, International Brand Design and Storytelling. And we will take a time at the end of the presentation to answer your question. So if you have any question, you can use the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen at any time during the presentation. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Anne-Charlotte Coupin, and I'm in charge of the student recruitment at l'École de Design Nantes Atlantique. And I have with me today Julie Joly and Eric Mazaudier. I will let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am Julie Joly. I am the director of French Journalism School, CFJ, and a new school, which is called WSchool. And it's a school for content creation. So I'm very glad to be here and very glad to present to you this brand new program with Eric. Eric, if you want to...
Yeah, thank you. Hello, I am Eric Mazaudier. So I work for Nantes Design School. I am based in Shanghai and I manage their branch, the China studio, where we welcome this MSc for a few months in your program. I have 10 years of experience in the luxury industry before working for Nantes Design School, and I live in China since 5 years now. And I am used to work with students to teach them a bit about Chinese culture and design. Thank you.
Welcome. I didn't say that I used to be a journalist for 15 years in France and in Germany. And I work with all medias in France, press, radios, and television now. Thank you.
Thank you. So a few words about this program. So the Master of Science International Brand Design and Storytelling is a level 7 diploma accredited by the French accreditation body, La Conférence des Grandes Écoles, that is the top tier French higher education institutions. And the purpose of this Master of Science is really to train in immersion students capable of carrying out intercultural projects and creating innovative solutions. So this program is taught in English, and it will allow students to acquire a dual expertise in French and Chinese markets while developing their ability to work in an international context. So thanks to a project-based pedagogy, the students will benefit from the know-how of professionals that will help us to develop their own project management skills, and that way they will be able to apply during the 6 months internship. And I would say that the quality of this program is guaranteed by the alliance of l'École de Design, experts in the creative creation, and École W, specialist in communication and storytelling. So maybe, Julie, you can give us some more information about École W.
Well, thank you. So, as I said to you a bit earlier, WSchool has been created by the journalism school that I am the director of 5 years ago. And we are in the center of Paris, and we are working with all specialties of communication around storytelling. So we work with scenarists, we work with the communicants, we work with journalists, with photographers, with people from the cinema industry or video. And the whole story is to teach students to tell stories. We know that the way we communicate is changing very strongly, very rapidly. So we teach by doing. So in our school, students only practice before learning. And at the end of the 3-year program, the W program, they can work in very different sectors and industries. And some of them will be journalists, some of them will be working for communication, some of them will be working for fiction industries or cultural industries. What we think is very important is that to be in the center of Paris is a true chance, because we know that all the people that are working with us and the teachers we are hiring, they are all working in their industries. They are all in activities, so they can come to our school very easily. And a lot of companies, a lot of institutions in Paris, museums, public industries work with the students either. So it's very important for us to be in the center of that energy, and that our students can participate very easily to all those projects. What can I say? I can say that after this bachelor program, we launched several other courses, programs. We have now 7 programs around WSchool in the several sectors I told you before. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Julie.
Same for Nantes.
Yeah.
So China Studio is a branch of Nantes Design School. Nantes Design School, maybe some words about the school. So we are a well-organized design school in Europe and France, in the world too. We teach all kind of design except fashion, and all our program is based on a partnership project, and really include in the design economy of where we are. So China Studio, it's based in Shanghai since more than 10 years now. And we provide some partnership project with local companies that can be international companies or Chinese companies. And all our tutors and teachers, they are people who are professional in design companies in Shanghai that can be designers, but also other specialists as anthropologists, sociologists, or expert about local market. What else? Me, I work for this studio since 5 years, so I manage a studio since 5 years now. And due to this long experience in China for the studio, we now have more than 300 design projects related to China. That can be some archives also for our new project. And what else? And for the MSc, but maybe we'll talk more about all this detail, but we think we are sure we'll base all the pedagogy with the same system of partnership project and professional relations in Shanghai.
Thank you. So yes, let's go more in detail within the curriculum of this MSc. So the program is organized over 1 year, starting in January, and divided into 3 parts. The first part, from January to March, students will be in l'École W in Paris, in France. So the main point of this first period is really to develop the storytelling and communication skills. Then the students come to China, to the China studio, from April to June, and the idea here is really to discover a new culture, but also to discover new forms of creation and interaction. And the program ends with a 4 to 6 months internship in China, France, or any other European and Asian country. Yeah, so I will let you, Julie, tell us a bit more about what is going to happen at l'École W.
Yes, in the WSchool, you will learn how to write, which is quite hard and much harder than you think, probably. But it's not all about writing. It's all about how to write to be understood, to be quickly understood, and through different cultures. So you will learn this art of telling stories, I told you, through writings. But also you will have to learn how to express yourself when you're on stage, to express yourself or your ideas when you are on video or with the photographies. And you will learn how to bring up a story with different people and different point of views. So it takes at least 2 months, and it could take you 10 years, but it's very important to learn that before leaving and going to Shanghai and doing what you have to do there through projects. So the chance we have, I told you here, is that you can learn all those skills with professionals from the luxury, the fashion, the cultural industry. And they are all, of course, bilingual, much more than me, I'm sorry. And they all know very well how much storytelling is important. You will learn also brand strategy and digital strategy, which goes through marketing, communication, publicity, advertising. You will have to create at least one event, maybe two. And around this special event, you will have to apply to use all the skills you've learned the 2 months before. So yes, I would say after 2 months, if you're not able to tell a story around the brand, so we missed the points. But you of course, our students, after maybe 1 or 2 weeks, they make a huge progress. So we think 2 months it's much more than enough to make you ready to go to Shanghai after that.
Thank you. Maybe a few words about living and studying in France and in Paris.
Sometimes you may think that Paris is very it's maybe very expensive, it may be a bit difficult, but of course we welcome in Paris lots of foreigners, lots of students, a lot of tourists too. So living in Paris is just for me a dream. I've been living here in Paris since 20 years. I'm not from Paris from the beginning, and here in Paris you will have access to the best museums, the best agencies, the best places, festival, to just keep up your cultural minds, staying open to innovation, to new ideas. So in the school we welcome a lot of events, but of course you are encouraged, and we help you to go through lots of things happening in Paris. What is important too is that the city is very it's very easy to go to one place from another. So we work with the medias that are very close to us, with industries that are very close to us. We thought maybe we could bring you to Brussels, to Spain. So we'll see, because Paris is in the center of Europe. We will work with you on projects at a larger scale than France. And yes, you can believe me, there's lots of things to do here. Seriously, the time is flying when you live in Paris.
Thank you. And about the pedagogy, you already explained how it works. So maybe Eric, the same thing for the time in China.
So the time in China for the MSc, so as we already told about, is everything, all our pedagogy is based on the partnership. So we'll have one main project in partnership with a design agency or a company with a design department. It will be related to Chinese market, maybe, to make you understand a bit what's happening in China. And also because I think first you will have this stay in Paris, where is a culture place in the world, and I think it's really important to take time in Paris to understand this quality of culture. And then in Shanghai, we are in a country where there is a fantastic culture, but maybe misunderstood for the moment, and all the country are relearning about their own culture and rediscovering their own culture. And for the storytelling, in fact, it's kind of a tradition, because in the Chinese culture, even if you check packaging, all this way to express the communication, it's really important for them to tell a story and to make kind of a scenario to explain the feeling or the spirit of the brand or of the communication. And the character and the text has a different position also compared to what we used to design in Europe. So with these two experiences between Paris and Shanghai, you will have this kind of a cultural gap, or this cultural experience, to compare two sides of the world with two different ways to practice this storytelling and this brand communication. In Shanghai, so we so in parallel of this main project in partnership, we'll organize a set of little module to give you some more theory about each step of the project. We'll go deeper in the design methodology. Maybe in three months you won't become a designer, but maybe it can help to have a better understanding of designer job and how to cooperate or to collaborate with designers. So, and all our tutors are living in China since more than 5 years if they are foreigner, or they are Chinese also fluent in English. I try to also collaborate with tutors, Chinese tutors who have international experience. So it helps also to understand, have a better understanding of the student needs who come from foreign countries. In parallel of this design and creative activity, we'll organize also some meetings with some design company in Shanghai to make you understand a bit the context and how people interact with the local market, even they are Chinese companies or international company, how they manage this kind of storytelling project in China. For the life in Shanghai, it's really a big city, difficult to compare to European cities. Maybe in India we have bigger cities than Shanghai, I don't know. But it's an international city where there is a lot of different nationalities in Shanghai, a lot of international history also with some former concession and international companies. The studio is well connected with all the design industry, as I said before, due to many internships that did our student and all our partnership projects. The life in Shanghai is, I think, equivalent to a life in Paris or maybe Nantes in terms of budget. With all the Chinese aspects. In fact, me, I live in China since 5 years and I work with China since 2008 now. I consider myself as free to do everything I want. There is no restriction. In fact, if you are honest person, if you don't try to make a trouble, everything is fine. It's really a really great place to live. It's really easy also to make connections. Like in few months, you can have really a lot of contact in Shanghai. It's really easy to connect to people. People are always happy to meet some new profiles and to connect for business. Is maybe the particularity of Shanghai, but it's as all these big cities, is business is a priority, and all contact we do is always somewhere related to the business. So here we are. I don't know, maybe later we can answer to your question if we have forgot something.
Question about the accommodations in Shanghai. Is it easy to find?
So students we work with now, in fact, they find their accommodation by themselves. They live in a share apartment, and it's really easy to find a share apartment in Shanghai. But you will find the apartment on site because with the distance it's quite difficult, in fact. And really in less than 1 week, you can find a really nice apartment for a really convenient price. For all the food, everything you can find international food, not only Chinese for sure, but Western, Indian, all kind of food, worldwide food.
I can say I went there twice to meet you there, and I can say the Chinese food there is so delicious.
Yeah. I won't say the I confirm.
Good. So.
Here we are.
Okay, so we will continue the presentation, but if you have any question regarding living in France or living in Shanghai, in China, don't hesitate to write your question. So maybe Eric, a few words about the internship, because
yes.
yeah, okay. Thank you.
So regarding the internship, so you are allowed to make your internship anywhere you want in the world. After, it will be a question of visa and possibility related to the international legislation. But the school will help you in all the procedure and all the documents to help you to find the internship. I think both school, École W and Nantes, we all have a big network also of companies, and it can be a big help. But maybe also to find an internship can be a good exercise. But we are a support. We can be a support anyway. After, if you want me to talk more about Shanghai and China, for a question of visa, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and mainland China are two different places for internship, or in terms of visa, the procedure will be different. But even both are considered as China for Chinese people. After, in Shanghai, for example, an internship, now we can consider to be paid. It's around 30 euro per day, per working day. It's not so much, but with 30 euro per working day in Shanghai, you can have, I think it's enough to have a good life. And after, for sure, you can negotiate, you can bargain, negotiate with the company. Related to your experience also, because coming in MSc, we all have different backgrounds, so it's difficult for me to give a really precise detail about your internship because you all have different background. And in France, it's a bit the same. It's like legally you have to be paid. Yeah. After the amount of the salary, all these kind of things, it depends of your your ability to negotiate.
Yes, because in France, if the internship lasts more than 3 months, you have to be paid. And there's it's 2 months now. Okay. Well, we are talking about a 4 to 6 months internship, so it will be paid if it's in France, and there is a minimum wage, but it could be, of course, more important depending of your background. Thank you, Eric. And maybe Julie, a few words about the career opportunities after this MSc.
Yes, because when we decided to launch this new program, we of course we thought about it because we had a lot of companies talking to us and asking for new skills that we couldn't offer. So what you can do after this, you can be a director of communication. You can be a UX designer. I don't know if you know what it is, a user experience designer. So you can design websites, you can lead a communication campaign. You can be a social media manager, of course, but a very special one because you will be with a very wide, open mind. So it's very precious for international brands. You can be an editorial project manager. It means that if anybody has to make content, it has to work with somebody giving the line, and you will be the one able to give the lines, the guidelines for editorial content. You can work in innovative industry and work on very innovative projects, which needs those special mindsets and open mindsets. You can be consultant, or we thought about event manager. You can work in whatever project that needs those special skills of agility, open mind, language, and this ability to design and tell a brand. We call it brand storytelling, but it's when you launch a product, you will have to think about it through its design and through its story. So now, yes, we know that in all those departments and in communication departments, but also in strategic departments, you will be truly needed. And that's why when we launched the program, we had lots of companies writing us letters to support the launch. And that's why I think we had this accreditation from the Conférence des Grandes Écoles, because it's, of course, absolutely necessary to have this support from companies when you launch such a program. So there's many, I think, new jobs to invent with these new skills.
Thank you. So now I will give you some practical information. So regarding the visa, Eric explained us that we will of course help you. Just a few words about that. So if you're not a European citizen, you will have to apply for a visa for France and a visa for China. If you need any assistance, of course, we are here to help you through the visa process. So you can contact us by email, and we'll give you more detail if you need. Regarding the application process in itself, so this program is open to all students who have completed at least 3 or 4 years of higher education in communication, design, journalism, media. And we also ask you to provide us a proof of English proficiency equivalent to 700 points as a TOEIC. So as we said, the program is entirely taught in English, so it's important for us to be sure that you can speak English. So that's why we ask you to provide us a proof of your English language skills. So the application have to be done online directly on l'École de Design Nantes Atlantique website until November 30. And there is a registration fee of 150 euros that are deductible from the tuition fees. A few words about the application. So you have to create an account on the application website and to upload directly all the documents. And once it's done, you will be asked to participate in an interview. And about the annual tuition fees, so for the entire program, the tuition fees are 12,100 euros. So that's it for the presentation. So if you want to send us an email, contact us by email, you can do it using this email address, admission@l'écolededesign.com. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask right now, because we are here and we'll be happy to answer it. I do have a question for you, Julie, maybe. What qualities are required to join this program? Because we said that it's open to students who have already studied for 3 or 4 years of communication and media design, but
I would say first, ambitious. Have to be ambitious, because ambitious means also for me curious. You have to want to learn more about from the others, but you want to do more and to be better than you could be in a one program. This dual program, it will be quite difficult, of course, because you will have to switch from the French to the Chinese culture, to switch from different professional inquiries. So of course you have to adapt yourself very strongly and quickly, but you will adapt yourself if you are curious and ambitious. So that's all for me. And I think maybe yes, one other. You have to want to cooperate, because you really will have to cooperate with your other alumni.
Okay, thank you. So once again, if you have any question, you can ask us. We are here to answer it. Why is it important to manage this, to develop expertise in, at the same time, European and Asian markets? Why do you think it's important? Eric, maybe?
Sorry, I got the sound. I think it's becoming more and more an evidence related to the international context. Like China is becoming a really important country in terms of economy, international politics. And so to have this experience in Shanghai and China, I think it's a good way also to have another point of view about international situation and international geopolitics, economy, and how works different brands. Since I work with China, in fact, I discovered that all this new way to manage brands, the way to communicate, to entertain, also maybe through the brand and through the media, through the application, internet, all these kind of things. China now is evaluating a bit, changing a bit the way they manage their internet, but it's still a bit really commercial. It's really difficult to find websites that are not made for the commerce and for the professional communication or marketing communication. So on this way, all this technology, all this knowledge about managing website and application, I think here in China, it's much more developed compared to what we used to have in France. Also related to the legislation, to the way to use interaction, sensor, all these kind of things. It's really, I think, futuristic compared to what we know in other countries. All the money, all these kind of things, the money is totally unmaterialized. Now in China, we don't have any more bills or coin. Everything is on our cell phone. All this new way to manage the economy is really interesting to discover and to apprehend or to have a better understanding of this side of the world. There is still, I think, a big border, I think, between Eastern and Western countries, and to go on the other side, it gives also a bit of distance about our own culture also, and maybe to have a better understanding of our own culture too, not only Chinese culture. So I recommend you to come in China, even for holidays or for few weeks.
Okay, thank you. So we have a question regarding the application files. So we will ask you to provide us a resume, yeah, a portfolio, or at least a book of projects, so that we can see how you work, what is your methodology, and during the interview you will be asked to explain one or maybe several projects. So I hope it's answer your question, Francesca. Yeah. Yeah, I for the moment we don't have more question, but maybe there is something you would like to add, Eric or Julie, about the program itself or the situation, because we are currently in a particular, let's be honest, in a particular situation regarding the pandemic situation. In China, it seems to be under control.
Is what I see. China is under control. There is a few new cases per day, like 6 or 10 maximum, that's a media. Most of these cases are imported case, in fact, in airport coming from outside of the country. It's also related to the way to manage the country. Maybe it's easier also to impose some rules in China compared to Europe. So it's maybe the way they manage the virus is maybe more straight, or not more straight, but how to say, in politically words, like it's maybe it's easier to impose something to the population, and the population, in fact, they relatively accept how it's managed. Some recent survey shows that more than 90% of the population agree with the way that the virus is managed in China. So now I don't have official information from the government and from authorities about the reopening of Chinese borders, but relating to the international situation, the fact that there is more and more vaccine also, and in Shanghai it's everywhere. Like at each corner of streets there is some vaccination point with some tent and containers to vaccinate people. So it's really fast, but there is also a lot of people. We are more than 73 million people in the region. So it's maybe close to the French population. And And so all this management, in fact, I think, and I have talked with some good contact in China. We think borders will start to reopen in September. After the question will be how many visas will they give each day. I think everything will be managed after with the visa, but officially borders should reopen in September.
Hopefully, yeah.
And in France, maybe I let Julie explain, but I think borders are reopening too.
Yes, in France, borders are reopening and opened actually right now. Situation is much better, of course, than 2 months before. We don't really know yet how it's going to be in September, but we are quite optimistic because the vaccination process is going on quite well, and all the worst case think that January will be okay. So in the worst case, there will we don't think there will be a problem in January because it will be at the end of the vaccination process. So right now it's just very well because everything opens again, and so it's fine. The thing is, maybe we should say to the people who can candidate that if, of course, there is any problem with the borders, of course, all the tuition fees, all the money paid will be completely refunded.
Yeah.
So there is no risk for you. I mean, if you want to candidate, be sure that you will not be there will no problem for you.
Yeah.
There's a question from Juliette.
No, it's a reminder about the documents that
Sorry.
had to be provided. So thank you to both of you for doing this presentation with me today. I think we don't have any more questions. So thank you for joining us and listening to this presentation, and hope to see you soon in France or in China. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne-Charlotte.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, Eric.
Bye-bye.